Let's give it a shot.
Welcome to the Sports Wrap. George Ringer, happy Friday, last day of May, happy June.
Happy
we probably
June.
should have set up outside, but I decided I wanted to sit in the air conditioning because it's been a long day. It's been a long
We
week.
got a nice little lively crowd here tonight at the community, and
Yeah, it's,
I know it's Friday and the end of the week, and like that.
Yeah. So you want to talk about your Timberwolves? Get it out of our system? Get it out of your system?
It was amazing because I'm sitting around watching Luka Doncic
That big
Just-
crybaby.
just come out of nowhere, drilled 20 points in the first quarter. I think he missed one shot.
I saw two. He was 8 for 10. 8 for 10, it said on Twitter.
And it's just, and he just hammered, and these were 30, 35 feet away too. So I sat and watched him work, and then I watched Irving work for a while, and I just knew that, there were a couple of things that I saw. Number one, they come to rely on Naz Reid and Jared McDaniel to come in and hit some of those crucial shots when Anthony Edwards isn't there, and I don't even know. I mean, I have to take a look at the stats, but I don't know what having Karl Anthony Towns does for three-point shooting.
He's the best big man shooting big man in the world,
Well,
supposedly.
that might be, but I'd like to see him in the paint a little more. But he started going to the basket. When he goes to the basket, things happen around that net, and I think that's where he should be. And it's just like,
Apparently, Stephen A. Smith said this morning that the Wolves need to trade Karl Anthony Towns. If they're going to get to the next level, they've got to get somebody else, a better dynamic. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I might agree with Stephen A. for the first time in my life.
first time.
But it is something that could happen. I'll be honest, last night I didn't get into the house until when I turned the TV on, click, it was 75 to 44.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I watched two possessions, down and back. That's how long it took me to realize what was going on and say, I'm not watching any more of this.
My wife and I contend that the real secret to a good marriage is two televisions. And she was down watching the Spelling Bee.
Oh, was that on last night?
That was on last night, and I was watching the basketball game. She got a lot more out of the Spelling Bee, but the Spelling Bee, the tail end of it, the speed spelling, his kid got 29 words, most of which I didn't know.
Is that how they're breaking the tie now? With speed spelling?
Speed spelling. You got 29 words in 90 seconds.
I may have to go back and watch that part of it.
Oh, and he was just spitting them out right and left, and I just thought, if Anthony Edwards could have only done that tonight. But anyway, I have to admit, the Wolves might have to make some adjustments, but they give us a real good season. And whether it was as good as
It's a shame that the
team.
number 5 seed out of the West is going to the finals. I'm going to say it that way.
Yeah.
But we all know how deep the West is. I mean, 3 could have been 1. The Wolves could have been the 1 if one game would have went differently.
When Irving and Doncic are hitting,
You know what I said 2 weeks ago? What I said about Kyrie Irving, he was going to fall apart. Couldn't have been wronger.
No,
He didn't fall apart.
No, he didn't. And they synchronized each other's scoring. But towards the end of the first quarter last night, my jaw was wide open, and I was watching a master at work, and there was no denying.
Okay, so having said what you just said,
Yeah.
how many games does it take for Boston to win the series?
Well, I don't know, because Boston's a really good team, and and I'm not sure, but I'm sure it'll probably go 5. They might be able to sneak out 1. They might even be able to sneak out 2, but they're not going to win the series. Boston's going to win the series, and we predicted that at the beginning of the season. And it's just, so that should come as no surprise.
Yeah, I don't think it's any surprise that Boston came out of the East.
No.
I mean, they're head and shoulders above everybody else right now. And
They really are, and they're playing well. I mean, they dispatched Indiana in ways that, it's just, it wasn't nice.
They're waiting until next Thursday to start.
Really? What am I going to do then?
Well, you're going to have to watch hockey.
Well, actually, I've been watching some hockey too. I watched the ladies win the tournament, the Walter Cup the other night.
You got to watch the game. I did not, and I wouldn't have been home anyway. But yeah, nice to see Minnesota win the first ever PWHL championship. You know, we ended the regular season losing 5 in a row. Lost the first 2 games of the first series to Toronto, and then played some pretty good hockey from there.
Well, you know, I'm a long ways from a hockey expert, but it seems to me when your defense and your goaltending gets as tight as theirs were, you'll be hard to beat. And they didn't wallop anybody. They beat them, but it was the defense and.
Yeah, I think the game, the series clinching game on Wednesday when they won 3-0.
Yeah.
I think that was the most goals they won by in any game in the playoffs.
Probably, and they've been getting a lot of those shutouts. So you know that they're a good defensive
It's hard
team.
to lose when you shut out the other team.
It is.
It is. It's just It's one of those things. So yeah, congratulations, exciting. And as I think it was either Bruce Siski or Royce said, apparently the only Minnesota teams that can win championships are ones that are female.
What am I going to do? I'm going to argue right now female athleticism and television coverage and all the rest of that has reached a brand new high. You wait to see when the Olympics come, and this is going to just jolt it right past with the swimming and the gymnastics and all the rest, beach volleyball, and it's just, but right now, you know, I mean, hey, I can't hardly wait till Caitlin Clark comes to Minnesota. Speaking of which, the Lynx.
The Lynx.
Yeah. They're 4-2.
Lost to the best team in the NBA the other night.
They did.
No shock there.
No.
But they hung in there.
They hung in there.
I think it was a 13-point ball game.
Yeah, they're half a game behind Las Vegas for in the conference, and so you know. But I've just seen them play just a little bit. You know, these women can really play buckets. They're serious ballers, and they just
and they shoot the ball pretty well.
Really well. yeah, really well.
UNB women's hockey team got some news today. Their head coach is leaving after 9 seasons to go be the head coach at Dartmouth.
Dartmouth.
Yeah. She closer to home for her. She apparently grew up out east, and this is a better thing for her family. So yeah, that's what she's going to do. So yeah. What else?
One other thing before we leave the Wolves, I got to ask the serious question. We talk who trade this is. Who owns the team? They'll sort that out, I suppose.
Well, the courts are going to have to figure that one out. There's going to be no them deciding that, because Glenn Taylor now knows that they're worth a whole.
More than he thought.
We're way more than what he originally wanted to sell.
And Rodriguez just isn't about to let that go because he had a deal. So, you know.
This is going to be contentious.
It's going to be contentious. This is going to go to court. Anyway, the Wolves they've got some work to do before next year, but they have a great foundation, Tim. They have a very good foundation.
Well,
They're going to be fine.
I mean, a lot of that comes around Anthony Edwards. He's going to get to go play with the Olympic team this summer. He's going to get better.
Yes. You see him on the Olympic team, he's going to be wonderful. He'll be great.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. That's going to be a great thing for him, again, to go practice against the best for a month and play against the best. So I look forward to it, and hopefully he learns a few things. There's as critical as we were about him shooting 29% or whatever it was for a 3-game stretch and whatever, he's 22. So there's a long way to go here yet.
He has an unlimited amount of talent. This is it's only potentially virtually untapped at this point.
So let's go back and let's think about Jordan.
That's the only comparison you can make.
And so, or Kobe. Kobe the first few years, same thing. Remember that Michael came out in '84, the fall of '84.
Yeah.
He started playing in the NBA, and he did not win a championship until 1991.
Yes, that's right.
So the point I'm trying to make here, folks, is, and I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan, but he plays a lot like Michael Jordan, and he could be as good as Michael Jordan.
I think he is. He's got good size. He's got tremendous speed. leaping ability. I've seen that elbow way at the rim. And it's, you know,
get up there.
He can get up there.
So there's comparison points there now. Like I said, to beat Jordan, he's going to have to do a whole heck of a lot more. But let's remember, it took Jordan 7 seasons,
and Scottie Pippen
before he won his. Well, okay, so that begs the question: if they do get rid of Karl Anthony Towns, what kind of player do they need to bring in?
What are you going to replace him with? And I think I think that they have other trades that they can make. I think if they need a number 3 man as far as the shooting goes. I mean, I see these offenses. These offenses are not complex. You have 2 guys in either corner and a couple of people to shovel passes in the center, and that's all it is. Of course, you got to be really good shooting from the corner.
Well, and you know, okay, Mike Conley's 36.
Yeah.
Not getting any younger.
No.
Do you have a point guard that is ready to replace?
Yeah, and I don't know if that is, but Conley really did a great job this year.
And what I'm saying, and like I said, I'm okay if they keep Cat, but they're like I said, maybe we need a different type of jump shooter, penetrator.
There were times when the Cat and Edwards and Gobert were playing together, and they were synchronized. Hey, they were a cool basketball team.
But I think they could be synchronized with somebody else. And Karl Anthony Towns, a lot of the times, is a defensive liability on the floor.
Well, and he shouldn't have to be, because
he should not have to.
You know, because he's such a tremendous athlete. But I also want to take a look at just how much he's improved, not only defensively, but in terms of discipline.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten better, and he knows that you can't get 2 chippy fouls in the second quarter and be effective for the whole game. And he still does that.
Yeah, he still does it. He's in his 9th year in the NBA, 8th year in the NBA.
Still reaching. Just. Oh, and I mean,
I call it crybaby basketball.
Well, I don't. Hey, you know, this is the way it goes. The referee toots the whistle. The offending player. In the old days, you used to raise your hand. Now you go, what? Me? Are you kidding?
And then you walk over and tell him about his ancestry and everything. Yeah.
Never lie, never cheat, never steal, don't whine, don't complain, and don't make excuses. It's the whining part that's sometimes hard.
Yeah. And that's why I can't stand Luka Doncic anymore. I can't even watch. I don't know if I'll watch the NBA Finals because I cannot stand watching him. After watching him for 5 consecutive games, I don't want to see him anymore. He's a pain in the butt to watch.
Yeah, but he's sure got a nice 3-pointer. No, you know what I like best about his game is his passing ability. It's just like this.
He's a phenomenal player, but he can do it with his mouth shut. He could be a great player and have his mouth shut. I'm just saying, Luka, if you're watching, hon,
what's he, 30 years old?
I don't think he's even 30.
I don't think he's.
He turned professional when he was 16, remember?
Yeah.
Over in Europe.
In Europe. Anyway. I couldn't keep my mouth shut when I was 30. How about you?
No. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
But neither can LeBron, and he's 40.
No.
So
I understand.
I don't know why I had to say that, but yeah. Okay. So we're done with. Oh, you gonna save him to the end?
I'll save him for the end.
That's a good way to finish it up. Okay, you been watching any of the hockey on the off nights?
You know, I tell you what, I haven't seen the Edmonton-Dallas but tail ends because it's on so late. But I did manage to catch the Florida Ranger game, and it's a pretty good series. These guys,
it's a great series actually.
These guys are playing heads-up hockey. They're hitting hard.
They don't like each other anymore.
They don't like each other.
After 5 games, they don't like each other.
No. And
lots of discussions after the whistles and goals and cheap shots, I'll call them.
You can't see it on TV, but a lot of these guys are really big, you know, and they're fast. When you have velocity and size, something's going to get hurt.
They were talking about Florida on the Pat McAfee show the other day. I went home for lunch. I turned on the TV, and they're talking to PK Subban. And he's in his apartment in New York and blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about Florida and are they dirty? So they show the Florida player who sticks out his elbow. No, it was a Rangers player who stuck out his elbow and took a shot and he said, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s, that was the way it was.
He got caught, it was elbowing.
He said, "No, you're not going to get away with that. And is it dirty? Yeah, maybe you're scrubbing that line." Anyway, it's a contentious series. Dallas and Edmonton. I said this last show. I think both those series are going to go 7 games.
Yeah.
Florida's up 3-2 right now. Dallas and Edmonton are tied 2-2.
I actually thought Florida would go through the Rangers quicker than they have. The Rangers just aren't going to let that.
The Rangers lost at home last night.
I know.
And so they're going back to Florida for Game 6 on Saturday. We'll see if Florida can finish them off. Obviously, the Rangers aren't going to go quietly. They had the most points in the NHL during the regular season, President's Cup winner. So I still think it's going to go 7, and I think Dallas and Edmonton go 7. I don't see any way around it.
No, I don't either.
So
anyway, yeah, Twins baseball team.
I went and watched the Twins last Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice, beautiful day.
Nice, beautiful day.
The two people that were going to sit to the left of us towards home plate got upgraded seats. So Eli and I had a great view of home plate. We didn't have to look through anybody.
Right.
We had a nice view of the game. Nice crowd, over 30,000 on a Saturday. Twins win. So it was a good Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they got 10 more. What was I just going to say it here? They're opening up a 10-day, 9-game road trip.
They're going to Houston, I think.
Going to Houston.
Okay.
And they're going to start there on Friday, and Pablo Lopez is going to start.
He better turn it around, or those tight pants aren't even going to keep Jen in a good mood.
That's why I brought him up. How's he doing? Not so well.
HS. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
And you know, the other boys, Flynn and the rest, are kind of holding up his end, and he's supposed to be the hot shot. So anyway, but he's 4-5, but he's got a 5.25 ERA, which is, I don't know, lots of numbers, lots of curly numbers.
A lot of big numbers.
And then on Saturday, Smoking Joe Ryan is coming in, and he'll play. He'll go against Frame.
He's pitching very well.
He is. He's 4-3, and he's got a 2.9, which is
very good.
I don't know nothing. It's about half of what the other one. Then Sunday,
if you're below 3 for a starting pitcher, you are doing outstanding in this day and age.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday we got Simone Woods Richardson, 2-0 with a 2.7 ERA, and he's going
2.7.
And he's going against Hunter Brown, which is 1-5. But anyway, there's going to be some good baseball, and that's 7-3 and 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we have? We don't have that on Midco anymore, huh?
Nope.
Nope.
That's why I'm kind of, don't take it the wrong way, but why I'm kind of giving them the cold shoulder, because other than if I watch them live, I don't really get to watch them, and sometimes I listen to a little bit on the radio. But Danny Gladden drives you crazy and wants to make you, start doing bad things to yourself. So I have a tough time listening for more than a couple innings. Sorry, Danny Gladden,
don't do that.
You drive me crazy, insane. You are such a. You would think after somebody had done it for this long that they would have it way better down, but you don't know what's going on most of the time. He's telling stories.
No.
Okay.
The season is 1/3 through.
Okay.
Have the Twins met with your expectations, and what are your expectations from here?
I would say no, they have not met my expectations, but they've gotten better. They are, I would say, the streakiest team in the major leagues. Winning, losing, long losing streaks, long winning streaks.
I told you it's the home run sausage. I tried to explain that.
Yeah, Jeffers hit a couple yesterday.
He did.
That was good to see. No, they won their last couple of series after a tough stretch there when they played the Yankees and et cetera, et cetera. Lost to Cleveland, who was out of their blessed minds.
Well, and KC's above them. This is a good series for them to win.
And KC's ahead of them. So yeah, this is. No, I'm expecting things to run into shape. The hitting has come around.
And Royce Lewis is coming back here one of these days.
So hopefully be coming back shortly. Carlos Correa said the other day, last year I was playing on one leg and this year I'm playing on two. Makes a big difference.
No, and my good friend Max Kepler is out of sight. So, it's
I was wrong.
Yeah, you were. That was, but that's
Although we
okay.
could have traded him and got somebody maybe who's even, I don't know. He made some nice catches.
He
in front
made
of
some
us.
nice catches. Yeah, I
On
mean,
Saturday
last week,
when we were there,
yeah, he was. He's got a nice stride. He's, what's he, about 6'5", and
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy, so he can reach the low.
Yeah, Chris Paddock was throwing on Saturday, and he was warming up right in front of us. You want to talk about big lads, big dudes? Chris Paddock is a tall man. He's got levers.
Yeah.
That's why he can throw the ball the way that he does.
What's he? But
I would say he's 6'6".
6'6", 6'7". I've heard that.
And he's got that can of snooze in his back pocket and the stash going, and he can be a little intimidating.
Scare me.
So they warmed up with a football. The pitcher and the catcher warmed up with a football. Long toss with a football.
All right. Because it's a different throw.
Well, it's a different throw, and there's a little more weight to it.
And you can stretch out the arm, and just every baseball's a lot of this stuff from the shoulder.
So anyway, I found that interesting when I was at the game, and of course it was International Falls Public Schools Day, and there were some Fallsians there.
Well, good.
I haven't received the reimbursement check that we get for the tickets bought, but I had a couple people that I didn't know were at the game tell me, I saw you on Saturday, and I'm like, you didn't even come down and say hi? That's rude.
Rude. Don't ever be rude.
So anyway, yeah. What else baseball-wise?
I don't know. Things are moving along. There's some really good performances, some good pitching going on, and I think we're hitting the pace here. We're in the 4th of July break. We're going to start seeing this thing come together.
One observation, Major League-wise, ESPN must have finally decided that they were overdoing the Shohei Ohtani thing. Every time he got
Dodgers are on all the time.
Every time he got a hit, it was like a special bulletin. And I haven't seen his name come across the bottom for like weeks.
Well, one of the things about it seems like, you have Los Angeles. Well, they play a good many of the games right on the West Coast, where they're the last games of the night. So tonight we'll watch the Giants play. Who are they playing? The Dodgers. So it's one of the things, but it always seemed to me, since I was a little kid, the Dodgers and the Yankees always got the priority, and I don't see a whole lot that's changed.
That's not going to change. No. College Baseball World Series got started today.
Ooh.
So 16 regional sites. So I went home for lunch and I managed to watch 15 minutes of baseball to just kind of whet the appetite. And of course, it's going to be on all weekend. And I don't know how some of you feel about this, but they've got the 9-inning stretch thing where they put they put 3 screens on. They got 3 games, and you just kind of go, okay, I can decide which one I watch, and you want to know what's going on. But seriously, there's 16 places where they're playing baseball this weekend. So how do you keep up with 16 different regionals going on? I mean, it's March Madness with more to it because they're playing more games every day. It's kind of nuts, but. Of course, I enjoy watching that. The College World Series will get started for baseball here in about 3 weeks. And then, of course, the College World Series for softball got started with number 1 Texas, number 2 Oklahoma State, Florida. I got to watch a little bit of Florida and Oklahoma State last night. And it was a home run. That was really the only runs that were scored in the game. Was that home run?
There's some really fine college baseball players out there, and in a couple of years, they're the ones that are going to be in the baseball all-star games. These guys are good, and you want to see some pitching. This is where they're coming up. It's
they mentioned today that the player from Georgia, he's expected to be the number 1 overall draft pick. He hit a home run in his first at bat today in the playoff game, in the NCAA game. Guess how many home runs he's hit this season with that one? 36.
Holy buckets!
I think that was in.
How many games did they play?
I think it was their 57th or 58th game, and I'm like, holy crap! That's almost 1 per game.
It is. It's a lot of homers.
So somebody's
going to be looking for him. Yeah.
So anyway, good. Lots of softball and baseball on this weekend. If you're into that kind of thing, when it's graduation weekend at Falls High and everything else. So,
well, I think we should take some of these seniors that are really good athletes and flunk them. Keep him around for another year.
Keep him around.
Keep him around for another year.
State High School League frowns upon that.
It's too bad. But Kelby Anderson, how's she doing?
Well, Kelby Anderson is a three-peat section champion.
Wow.
I went and watched her on Tuesday, and she shot a plus 578 at a very difficult course, the Quarry. If you've ever had a chance to play it, which I never have, and I probably never will because I can't golf well enough to make it worth my time. But they've got golf carts that got GPS, and the golf carts tell you how far away your ball is from the front of the green and from the back of the green into the hole.
Something?
On the golf cart. And when you're driving, this is a blind area. Please slow down. This is a hill. Please use your brakes. Anyway, enough about that. But Kelby shot great on Tuesday when I watched her. Again, I mentioned plus 5. She then went out on Thursday and shot a plus 376 to wrap up the title. So I think she won by 18 shots. Overall. So state tournament June 11th and 12th down at Jordan again, a place where she has played numerous times. And I told everybody since that wants to talk about Kelby since then, and I'll talk about it now. Her ball striking ability is phenomenal. And I don't like to use the word phenomenal very often because it's
Is she just able to drive through, or
she just makes such clean contact? She hits it just flush. She had a ball that she had to drop out of she hit it into the woods a few feet and had to take a drop. And she got into this fuzzy grass in the rough that was probably this high. I couldn't hardly see the ball. Then she took out her hybrid and she made such clean contact with that ball, and I'm like, no, if I would have tried to hit that ball with that hybrid, I probably would have went like 9 feet because it had got all wrapped up in the grass, and she hit it like 200 yards. And so I'm very impressed with the way she plays. She's very good, and headed to Winona State, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does there.
Yeah,
and then she's going to Scotland right after the state girls tournament.
Well, they have lots of golf courses there.
She got invited to be a part of this group of girls that are going over to play golf.
She's one of the top-rated golfers in our state, and she deserves this type of thing. And besides, those are the kind of experiences that make it all worthwhile. So hey, you gotta congratulate the Anderson family for raising such a great girl.
I give Mom all the credit. Yeah.
Actually, give Mom all the credit. Way to go,
You're welcome, Charlie.
Charlie gets some credit.
Charlie's the coach. That's all he gets to do. Drive the vehicle. Just shut up, man.
Yeah.
He does. Him and Kelby don't talk on the course very much. That's what I found out.
Oh, well, that's
what Dominic is there for.
That's what Dominic is there for. Back to the stars.
To be the bridge.
Anyway. It's amazing. That whole situation.
It's understandable sometimes.
Family's family, and it's just a strange deal.
And
I just never knew Charlie as being a golfer, though.
He's a fair golfer. His son is a really good.
Chad or
Gunner? Yeah, he shot a 74 at the Quarry the other day.
74.
Not too bad. I suppose he gets to play a little golf.
No.
You want to keep talking about high school as long as we're talking?
Yeah, let's do this because we got track and field. And you got a little.
The track and field teams competed in the section meet yesterday. We don't have as many going as we did last year, but a good day for the 4x200 relay team as they got second. And it will be headed to state, so I want to make sure I get it right. Julia Dijkstra led it off, Jillian Bilbin, Mary Versteeg, and then Abby Hutchinson. And then those same 4 girls ran the 400, and they came up 6/100ths of a second short. That's what they got beat by for second place. Abby was closing. Everybody who was at the finish line said if they'd had 2 more steps, she would have taken second place, and they'd have got to go to state in that as well. Abby went as the 300 section 300 hurdles champ last year, took second this year. So she's going back to state in that. And then I would say maybe the surprise of the day, and I hope Wyatt won't get after me for this, but Wyatt Jansen, section champion in the 300.
Wow.
And Charlie Anderson didn't get back to me, but he said, I believe I believe, and he said I'll check it, but he didn't get back to me today, might be the first Bronco hurdler to go to state since
Tony Lynch?
it's Tony Lynch in 1962.
Wow.
So, section champion, and the hard part about Wyatt is he got announced as being in 8th place first. And all the kids that were like, whoa, 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 they're like, what? He won it. And the judges are like, no, this is right, they got it right. And they're like, no, we got to go get it fixed. And then they re-announced him as the section champion. So, kind of
Congratulations.
kind of
Good
freaky.
for
So,
him.
and just as he told Mr. Anderson this morning, I'm just a sophomore.
See? And you know, when Tony first went down to the state tournament?
Sophomore?
Sophomore. I think that was the first year he won it.
Yeah. So, anyway, I hope Charlie will find that out for me because that's a pretty good tidbit. Charlie said there might have been one in the 70s. He said I gotta go check it. He said I can't remember anybody there. So, track and field very good. Of course, softball ended up 4th place in the section. Ended their season 19-4. Basically 1 inning, lost 2-0 to Esco in a game to get to that 3rd place area where you had a chance to advance to the championship. Hey, great season for them.
You hate to lose to Esco. It's just, I won't say anymore.
Wow. I said something to that effect yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. And
So-
I know a lot of Rangers feel that way about it too.
Can I throw in another little tidbit?
Please do.
So you brought up Esco.
Yeah.
Esco's the defending state champion in baseball, right?
Yeah.
But they're the number 2 seed in the section this year. Duluth Marshall is seated ahead of them. They're both 2 very good programs. Well, Proctor has a pitcher who, if you believe some people say he's going to possibly pitch in the majors someday. He's that good. I'm just saying what I've heard. I've never seen him pitch. But could be good enough where he could pitch in the majors someday. He's got that type of talent. I don't know if I can believe it, but some people, whatever. Anyway, Proctor and Esco played yesterday afternoon or morning whenever they started. And this Turhart kid, the kid from Proctor, gets 115 pitches. And when he got to his last batter in the 7th inning, Proctor was ahead 8-1.
He gave up 1 run, huh?
He had given up 1 run, and when he got pulled out of the game, Esco scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, and he made it into the bottom of the 7th inning, is what I was told.
And they couldn't finish.
They couldn't finish the deal, and Esco scored 8 runs to beat them 9-8.
Talk about rip your heart out.
Talk about rip your heart out. I think they said that he had 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, so he needed,
So 115's the limit, huh?
115's the limit, and then you got to be taken out of the game, or you finish that batter after 115 to be technical about it. But yeah, you want to talk about him. You got a chance to get into that winner's bracket. You're in that winner's bracket. You want to stay winning, and
Well, but this is one of those things where when you come to rely on one person with all the talent, and you don't develop your own to help them over, it's still a team
well,
sport.
and then
And
the
it's,
thing is, you play 2 games on Tuesday, and then you play 2 games on Thursday. Well, those kids that probably pitched on Tuesday can't pitch Thursday, so you're rolling the dice. You got to have a deep pitching staff. So Proctor's got a nice team, and they threw their stud out there and they tried to get through, but they couldn't. And Proctor's still in the tournament. They'll get a chance. Might get a chance back at Esco again somewhere next week. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to see talent. What year is he? Senior?
I believe he's a senior this
Okay.
year. Don't quote me on that. Proctor wins Section 7 2A softball. Beat Rush City 2-0. Very good game. I got a chance to watch that yesterday after the track meet. It was a great day. It was a great day. I got to watch the section track meet.
You should get a chauffeur for crying out loud.
So Rush City and Pine and Proctor on this field, and then over here, Moose Lake, Willow River, and Cherry playing in the Class A championship. So I spoiled myself to a little championship softball yesterday as well, and Cherry ended up losing to Moose Lake, Willow River.
The fans here.
So anyway, so it was a good day there. So there's your representatives there for Section 7 in softball. Baseball will get decided next week on Tuesday and Thursday. We'll get their champions coming through. So yeah, it's big time. State track meet is next Thursday and Friday for Class A. And then, of course, Kelby, as I mentioned, will play the following Tuesday and Wednesday, the 11th and 12th. So I'm looking forward to going and watching our Broncos compete at the state tournament.
Yes, you are.
I say that it's one of the perks of being the AD.
It
that
is
I
the
have
perk.
to go watch.
Yeah.
I have to, darn it. So. Anyway, that's the update. Of course, graduation is on Sunday here in the Falls.
Okay,
And,
Broncos, go to the education and get a job.
They were practicing their graduation this morning. I just kind of had to, chuckle because it's the last graduation for Tim Everson and for Kevin Grover here.
It is.
So they'll work through that and everything else. So yeah. What else you got hidden here in the?
I've got, I couldn't leave the program without talking about Bill Walton. Because, shocker. And it's just like, and I started writing some things down about him, and it started growing and growing and growing and growing. He was a Southern California guy, and he and his brother, Max, who Max was a little bit smaller, but he was a year older, and he was a football player, and on the basketball court, nobody messed with Bill because his brother took care of him, and his brother could take care of him pretty well. But he was born 1952. He just passed away last week. He was a character. He got out of high school and he went to UCLA to play for John Wooden. So he goes into the court and he's got very long, flowing hair. And Coach Wooden said you'll need to get a haircut. So we'll do it after practice. He says, no, you need to get a haircut before practice. And Bill Walton says, well, I don't know if I feel like I should do that. And John Wooden says, well, that's too bad. We'll really miss you. And it was said that he jumped on his bike, which he was an avid bike rider, and tore down, found himself a barbershop, and came back with those incredible locks clipped. But to say that he wasn't a character, he was a 3-time NCAA Player of the Year. And then they talked about the second year, 73-74, they're playing Memphis State in the championship game. He scores 44 points. He's 21 for 22.
How the heck did he only shoot 2 free throws is what I want to know.
I don't know. And keep in mind, they couldn't dunk.
And they couldn't dunk.
So these were just little tip-ins. But he was a character. He was a very active anti-war demonstrator, and he was the #1 Deadhead, which is a serious fan of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
He went to some 860 of their concerts all over the world. So he'd just jump in and he'd run in, and Rosie Ramble On was his favorite song. I played it the other day for him. But this guy, he had a stutter, he had a bad speech impediment, and he worked on it and became like an Emmy performing sports broadcaster with a great sense of humor, and he never really I don't recall him ever really taking the game seriously when he was broadcasting. It was still a game. He took a little bit serious when his son,
when his Bruins were playing.
And Luke, his boy was, he took it. What he said about playing, he played for Portland and Boston. And when he played for Boston, and that was the end, he says, what was it like to play for Boston? He says, it was like being on stage with the Grateful Dead. And so he could compare it with only the best that he's ever done. But he was just that good of a basketball player. And they won 88 games in a row. That's at UCLA.
Think about that.
88 games over the course of 3.5 years, and this is where I still told my players, told my students. John Wooden taught them, never lie, never cheat, never steal, don't whine, don't complain, and don't make excuses. I send that letter out to politicians all the time, and it's good sound advice. So that's what Bill Walton was there for. And I mean, I think that John Wooden had to bail him out of jail because he was arrested at an anti-war demonstration, and I think that Bill Walton worshipped the man. And so
I think he worshipped him, but wanted to be able to try to change him as well.
Yeah.
Can I say that way?
You mean worship? Try to change John Wooden?
Yes.
Well, you weren't going to do that.
No, you weren't going to do that, but I think he wanted.
He had an incredible free spirit. He just wanted Coach Wooden to get a little bit of that.
I'll ask, and I think we talked about this before at some point, but maybe we didn't. Did you see the 30-30 or the ESPN 4-hour special that they put on about Bill Walton?
I saw. I caught the tail end of it because
If you've got
Yeah.
ESPN Plus,
I do.
It's available there.
Okay.
And I'm recommending that anybody who
Yeah.
didn't watch it, if you're a sports junkie who likes a great story about, like you said, a free spirit.
A free spirit.
It's worth your time. I found myself unable to stop watching it while it was on.
Well, you look at the guy and you listen to him talk. He does not ever not have a smile on his face. He is enjoying life. He loves basketball. He likes the Grateful Dead. He likes it. But you can see it in his face. He just,
You know, and Walton's career was probably one of the most injury-plagued
yes,
superstars ever.
After the third year, he was constantly worried about his feet.
So
and
his feet, his back.
Yeah.
That at his home, they put in no steps, no stairs, everything on a gradual incline so that he could get around his property and his home and all of that stuff. And so in pain, but like you talked about, always having a smile on his face. When he was in public, you never saw the pain, I would guess, or the discomfort
and
that
he was still awarded the six man award, at Boston, and he was crippled up pretty good by then. So, but hey, in his prime, to watch the big man play.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, how young I am.
Yeah.
But CBS used to show an NBA game on Friday nights every once in a while.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was on tape delay. At times it started at 10:30 at night. And of course, Friday nights, my mom and dad kind of let us stay up late on Friday
Yeah,
nights.
he's playing in Portland. That's out.
Bring the sleeping bag out, bring the pillow out, lay down on the floor and watch basketball. And my dad would always give up Johnny Carson on Friday night so that I could watch basketball. My brother and I could watch basketball. So thanks, Dad, for that. But of course, he was big in Portland he was with Portland, and they were going to be the NBA champions probably, so they were on TV a lot, and that's when I first learned about Bill Walton. I don't ever remember because I was too little about UCLA.
Yeah, he was.
And then all of a sudden he kind of disappeared because of, the injuries.
Well, he was off for a whole year.
Out for a whole year. He kind of disappeared, and then, he kind of got questioned on whether he was too much of a free spirit, and was he not tough enough to play the game. And like I said, it all comes out in that show. It's interesting. It's good stuff.
I just
71.
Yeah, the other night I played Grateful Dead for him at this very spot, and we all kind of cheered because I don't know anybody that didn't like him. Great guy. Goodbye, Bill. Hope to meet you someday.
What else? Anything else?
Let's see. The Lynx are playing tonight and Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
And I'm gonna watch these guys. They're on CBS SN on Sunday, and they're on this
Ion TV tonight.
Ion
Okay.
TV. They're the
Channel
ones
220 if you've got Midco.
They're the ones that sponsored the spelling bee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just goes to show you just don't have to be strong, you can be smart too. Well, you could say that. Let me see.
Well, you got something written on the back page.
I got notes all over the place. No, there's nothing there that's worth sharing. So anyway, we got the Twins going. Go down there to Houston and beat them up. That would be
okay by me.
Are we still mad at them?
At the Astros?
Yeah, I guess
so. Yes, we're still mad at the Astros.
That was a silly question.
It'll be interesting to see how Carlos Correa is received in Big H again.
Oh, that's right. But he said about Carlos Correa right now, he said, I'm not playing on one leg, I'm playing on two. And it's just, because in the field, you want to watch a ballet dance, you just watch him play out there because He's just incredible.
I have to say this because when I was at the game on Saturday,
Yeah.
who's the quarterback in the infield? It's the shortstop, right?
Yeah.
So there was a pop-up, a major league pop-up. I mean, went up there forever. And that son of a gun never moved a muscle from where he was at because Julian was going to catch that ball. And he wasn't going to go over there in case it got batted around or whatever. And I'm like, listen here, you're getting paid 20 whatever zillion dollars a year. You should at least be over there in case Julian bangs off his glove, you might catch it. That son of a, he never moved a step. Not a step. So I was a little disappointed in C4.
How did it turn out?
Julian caught the ball.
Oh, of course he did.
Hey, when are you leaving for Norway now? We got to tell our fans that we're going to be taking hiatus here.
No, it's going to be a week from Thursday.
So
we
like
got
the
next
so
week
like the
and
13th.
then the 13th, yeah.
So we got one more show.
I'm going. We're just calling this like an on-the-road expedition. I'll take some
Are you
pictures.
taking the camera with you so you can do a sports?
I'll see if I can find a Norwegian.
So we're going to
athlete
take off from about the middle of June till like after the 4th of July.
Well, I'll be back on the 25th or 26th, so I've still got.
All right, we'll get one in towards the end of June. Then.
And then I've got my Wrestling Hall of Fame bunch that's coming up.
That's coming up this next week, right?
Oh, they're coming up in July.
July, it is July.
And that'll be July 8th, 9th, and 10th.
So we got to record a show there.
We got to record a show there, and then we're gonna have dinner. I might even bring them over here, but I'd hate for them to be corrupted.
They would be corrupted at the Rainier Muni.
I'm not sure about these guys. Anyway, hey, it's a great summer. Enjoy it right now. It's here.
Yeah, happy June. Go after it. Have some fun. Stay safe, though.
Hey, Broncos, congratulations.
Thanks, everybody.